The spaceship Horizon 7 was flying through deep space. Far from any planet, it was a quiet day, with the crew working on normal tasks. Suddenly, an alarm began to beep. Slow at first, then louder. Everyone turned to the control screen. Something. Or someone was outside the ship, right at the outer airlock. "Captain." "We have movement at the airlock," said Lieutenant Ray, his voice shaky. The captain, a tall man with gray eyes, came closer to the screen. "Is it debris?" he asked. Ray shook his head. "No, sir, it's alive," on the screen. They saw a strange figure standing outside. It looked like a woman, but not fully human. She had smooth blue-gray skin, glowing silver eyes, and a child in her arms. The child was still, maybe unconscious or worse. The woman's body had bruises, and her face was filled with pain. Then, something shocking happened. Her voice came through the emergency speaker in perfect English. "If you have a heart, let my daughter in. I can pay you with my body, please." The room went silent. The crew members looked at each other, confused and alarmed. "Did she just speak English?" asked one of the engineers. "Yes," Ray replied. "Perfect English, Captain Hale." Narrowed his eyes. "This could be a trap," he said. "We don't know what species she is." Ray stepped forward. "But look at her, sir. She's hurt, and the child." "She's not moving. We can't take chances," the captain replied. "This might be a trick." Ray looked at the screen again. The woman was crying now, pressing her forehead against the airlock glass. "Please," she said again. "My daughter is dying." The child's head tilted slightly, then stopped. Ray gasped. "She's not breathing." I said no. The captain snapped. "We have orders, no unknown life forms aboard. But she's not a threat," Ray argued. "She's asking for help, not attacking, Captain." Hale folded his arms. "That's final, Ray." Ray walked out of the room without another word. His heart was racing. He couldn't let the girl die like that, not in front of him. He took a side route and reached the manual control panel near the cargo bay. There, he typed in the override code, his fingers shaking. Back at the airlock, the woman saw the green light flash. The door slowly opened with a soft hiss. Cold air rushed inside, and she fell forward, holding the girl close. "Thank you," she whispered. Before her eyes rolled back and she passed out, Ray rushed forward and caught the child. She was light, like a feather, her skin pale and cold. Laid her on a soft mat and checked her breathing. It was shallow, but she was alive. He turned to the alien mother. Her breathing was weak, but steady. He didn't understand how she knew English or why she came to their ship. But he knew one thing: she was desperate, and she was telling the truth. He quickly closed the airlock and sealed the room. Then he grabbed a med kit and started treating their wounds. They needed help, and fast. Minutes passed. Ray sat beside the girl, watching her chest rise and fall. She looked almost human, maybe. She was part human. He had so many questions. Where did they come from? Why did she know Earth's language? Why risk her life coming here? But those questions could wait. Right now, saving her was more important. Suddenly, the girl opened her eyes. They glowed faintly. Not like a human's, but not scary either. She looked at Ray and tried to speak. Only one word came out: "Safe." Ray nodded. "Yes, you're safe now," he said softly. The girl gave a weak smile and closed her eyes again. Ray knew he had broken rules. The captain would be angry. Maybe even throw him off the mission, but he didn't care. Sometimes rules must be broken to save what really matters. Behind him, the alien mother moved slightly. Her voice was weak, but full of emotion. "She is all I have left," she said. "You saved her." Ray looked at her with wide eyes. He didn't expect her to be awake. She smiled faintly. "Your people destroyed our world," she whispered. "But maybe not all of you are monsters." Ray didn't know what to say. He just sat there, between a dying alien and her daughter, knowing that his life had just changed forever. Outside the ship, in the dark silence of space, something moved. A shadow passed across the stars, unseen, unknown, watching. It was quiet in the storage bay, too quiet. Ray sat beside the two bodies, one alien mother, one half-human child. They were alive but weak. outside that room. No one knew they were there, but soon someone would. The lights flickered, just for a second. The ship's systems never did that before. Ray looked up, his stomach tight with worry. Was it her? Or something else? He thought suddenly. A soft humming sound started near the girl. It was like a frequency too low to hear fully, but deep enough to feel. Ray stood, watching as a strange pattern glowed across the child's skin, like lines of soft light, moving, like waves under her skin. Then they faded. The girl opened her eyes again. She looked right at Ray, but this time she wasn't afraid. "You're not like the others," she said. Ray was shocked. "You can speak?" he asked. She nodded. "I learned fast," she whispered, before he could answer. A loud knock echoed across the hallway door. Bam, bam, bam. "Ray? Are you in there?" came the captain's voice. Ray froze. "Hide," he told the girl. And the alien mother? The mother was awake now, barely sitting up. Ray helped her behind the storage crates. He covered them with a thermal blanket to block heat sensors. Then he wiped his face and opened the door. Captain Hale stood with 2 security officers. He looked angry, suspicious. "There was a manual override at airlock 7, he said. "Was that you?" Ray forced a calm voice. "I just went for system maintenance." "Nothing serious, sir." The captain stepped into the room, eyes scanning everything. "Did you hear anything unusual?" "The cameras glitched just an hour ago." Ray shook his head. "No, just some light flickers." The captain stared at him, long and cold. "You're hiding something," he said. Ray didn't blink. "With respect, sir, you're imagining things." The captain left without saying more, but Ray knew he would return as the door closed. The girl stepped out from hiding. "You lied to him," she said. Ray sighed. "I lied to protect you." The alien mother touched Ray's hand. Gently. "You are risking everything," she said softly. "Why?" Ray didn't have the full answer, but in his heart he knew he had seen too much death, too much hate. Saving them felt right. Later, Ray went to the med lab and stole some medicine and food packs. He moved quietly, like a shadow. He passed by the crew quarters, past sleeping faces that didn't know what he was hiding. Just meters away, back in the storage bay, the girl was eating slowly. She paused and looked at the blinking lights on the wall. "This ship is sending a signal," she said. Ray's heart skipped. "What kind of signal?" She blinked. "It's a distress ping." It was automatic, triggered when the airlock opened. Ray cursed under his breath. "Earth Command is going to receive it," said. The alien mother looked up. "If Earth finds us, they will kill us both." Ray nodded. "I know. And now we have to hide you better." Just then, the ship shook violently. The alarm blared. Red lights flashing. "Proximity alert," came the robotic voice. "Incoming vessel detected." Ray rushed to the control screen. A ship was approaching fast. Unmarked, not Earth Command, not friendly. The alien mother stood slowly, despite her pain. She stared at the screen, eyes wide. "That ship. It's one of them," she said. "Who?" Ray asked. She looked at him with fear. "The ones who chased us across the stars. They don't want peace. They want to erase the past." Ray grabbed his comm device. He needed to tell the crew, but if he did, the mother and daughter would be exposed. He was caught between duty and mercy, between orders and survival. The alien girl took his hand again. "You believed in us when no one else did," she said. "Believe now." Ray looked at the ship outside, then at the small, fragile girl before him. He made his choice. He locked the storage bay, sealed it, and ran to the engine room. If that ship was coming for them, he'd find a way to stop it. Even if it meant betraying his own people. Because maybe, just maybe, these 2 lives were more important than every rule he was taught. The lights on Horizon 7 flickered again, but this time, no one brushed it off. The power drop was too sharp, too fast, too cold, and it wasn't coming from inside. Something outside was interfering. Or worse, something already on board, Captain. Hall stood on the bridge, hands on the console. He watched the radar screen as the unknown ship moved closer. It wasn't responding to signals, not broadcasting a name. It was just ... Watching, still no answer. he asked the cum officer. Nothing, sir. They're jamming our scanners too, she replied. Whatever it is, it doesn't want to talk. Down in the storage bay, Ray sat beside the alien girl. She was drawing on the floor using a broken circuit wire, not just shapes, but a map of stars. Ray leaned closer. What's that? Where they chased us from, she said quietly. Behind her, the alien mother rested, breathing shallow. She hadn't spoken much since the hostile ship appeared. Ray had tried asking her what it was, but she just said one word, hunters. Ray didn't understand. Are they after you? No, the girl replied. They're after you too now. Ray stood up, a chill going through him. Something didn't feel right. Wait here. I'll go check the ship logs, he said, and left the bay. He passed through the halls quickly. The crew was preparing for contact, loading weapons, reinforcing doors. They thought they were dealing with an unknown alien threat, but they had no idea. Ray reached the data core room. He logged into the captain's terminal using an override. Code he had memorized long ago, and what he found changed everything. Hidden in a deep file was a mission brief. Horizon 7 was not just a research ship, it was a collector. Its job was to find and retrieve bio-interesting alien species for Earth's private labs. Ray scrolled further. His ship had visited the same star system the alien mother described. Decades ago, we destroyed their world, Ray whispered. Meanwhile, on the bridge, the enemy ship moved closer. Suddenly, the lights went out completely. Backups kicked in, but it was too late. They had already docked with a loud metal clang. The airlock on Deck 4 blew open, but no one entered. No soldiers, no robots, just silence. Then, strange whispers filled the speakers. Not words, just noise. It was like something was inside the ship's systems. Feeding on them, the crew scrambled. Weapons were ready, but there was nothing to shoot. Only darkness and fear. Back in the storage bay, the alien mother sat up, her eyes glowing. They're not soldiers, she whispered. They're shadows. Energy feeders. Ray returned just in time to hear her. Feeders, he asked. They infect machines, she said, but worse. They speak through your thoughts. Ray's chest tightened. That explained the whispers in the radio. The flickering lights. Are they already in the ship? He asked. The mother nodded. Yes, they're searching for her, she pointed. To the girl, Ray turned to the child. Why? What do they want with her? She's not just a hybrid, the mother said. She carries memory. Genetic memory of all my people. Suddenly, alarms rang. Someone screamed over the intercom. Security breach crew member down, do not approach Deck 4. Ray grabbed the girl's hand. We have to move. They ran through the ship's lower tunnels, the hidden maintenance routes. Every light above them flickered like a heartbeat. One of the crew passed them in the hallway. His eyes were white, like fog. He just stood there, whispering to himself. Then he turned and walked into the wall, slowly, like he didn't care. Anymore? The ship is being taken, the mother said. Their fear makes it easier, the girl added. Ray couldn't believe what he was hearing. But how do we fight them? You don't, she replied. You unplug from them. Ray reached the engine core and locked the doors. We're safe for now, he said. But as he looked at the ship logs again, he saw a new message flashing red. Incoming order. Neutralize. Unauthorized lifeform set was from Earth's command. They knew, and they had given permission to kill. Ray leaned against the wall, breathing hard. He looked at the alien girl who had said nothing. She just stared at him calmly and said, It begins now. Asterisk space was not silent anymore. It was screaming, but only a few could hear it. The rest were already part of the noise. Ray stood inside the sealed engine room. His heart beat louder than the alarms outside. He was no longer sure who the enemy was, the alien ship outside, the infected crew on board, or the lies he had believed for years. The alien girl sat on the floor, her hands glowing with soft light. Lines of data floated in the air around her. Ray had never seen anything like it. She wasn't just alive, she was connected. She's unlocking memory, her mother said, leaning against a steel beam, weak but awake. Whose memory? Ray asked. Ours, the woman replied, but also yours. The floating lights began to shift. Now they looked like a map. A set of star systems, and one glowing planet in the center. This world, the girl said, Pointing, Ray leaned in. "That's a dead system," he whispered. "No life signs, no oxygen." The girl looked up. It was our home. Ray stared at the blinking dot on the map. He had read about that planet in Earth's archives, E76. Cleared for mining, classified as bioempty after survey team reports, but it was a lie. The alien mother closed her eyes. "Your people came with machines," she said softly. "They tested us, scanned us, said we were unfit to survive." Ray felt the words hit him like a punch. He had heard rumors during his training, but never believed them. Now, he was standing with the survivors. "You didn't fight back?" he asked quietly. "We did," she said, "but not with weapons," the girl added, "with memory. We passed our voices through DNA." Ray looked at the girl again. "So you remember everything?" She nodded. "I remember the skies burning, the river screaming. The day we became ghosts, Ray's come device buzzed new message from Earth Command. All unauthorized life must be purged, including crew that fails to comply." He turned it off. He was no longer their soldier. "We need to go to this planet." Ray said, "Maybe there's something left, some proof." The mother shook her head. "No ships can land there now. It's shielded." Ray smiled slightly. "But not for Horizon 7. The ship was equipped with old bypass codes. It's made for landing on restricted planets. He had learned them years ago, never thinking he'd ever use them outside. The hostile alien ship was still circling. It hadn't attacked again, but it was watching, waiting. Ray moved quickly back to the bridge. He input the old code manually, bypassed the tracking beacon within seconds. The ship turned slowly and began moving away from the enemy vessel. The crew, what was left of them, were confused. "Where are we going?" The navigator asked. "To the truth," Ray replied. No one stopped him. Most were too scared, too broken to ask questions now, hours later. Horizon 7 entered orbit around the dead planet. Gray clouds covered the surface. Static storms danced in the atmosphere, but through it all, the alien girl smiled. "She's calling us home." Ray activated the landing protocol. The ship shook, groaned, then began to descend. As they neared the surface, shapes began to appear, not cities, but memories, tall structures made of crystal, ruined and cracked, symbols carved into stone. Glowing faintly as they approached, the girl stood at the viewing window. "She remembers me," she whispered. The ship touched down. Outside was dust, silence, and soft wind, but something else too, Anne. Energy humming in the air. Ray, the girl, and her mother stepped out. Each step felt heavier, not from gravity, but from history. They reached the center of the ruins. There stood a tower, broken in half, at its base. A glowing circle pulsed gently. The girl walked toward it. The moment her foot touched the circle, everything changed. A shockwave of light burst out, not to destroy, but to reveal. Images filled the sky, visions of what once was. Alien families, laughter, forests of light, skies filled with floating creatures. Then came fire, machines, ships with Earth's flag, weapons, the memories of extinction. The crew watching from the ship saw it too, and they began to understand. Earth had not found an empty world. It had taken one. Ray stood in silence, tears in his eyes, fists clenched. "Why didn't we know?" he whispered. The alien mother looked at him, because no one wanted to remember. Ray turned to the girl. She was glowing brighter now. "What happens now?" he asked. She looked at him calmly. "Now we give them a choice, remember, or repeat. There is a kind of silence that doesn't bring peace. It brings fear." The crew of Horizon 7 stood on the ruined surface of the dead planet. No one spoke. They had just seen the truth in the sky, the history they were never meant to see. Ray had hoped the memories would unite them. He was wrong. Far above, in the shadows of the ship's cold hallways, someone else was moving, not to help, but to report. Crewman Dennis tapped into the private comlink. He had seen enough alien survivors. Forbidden planets, disobeyed commands. Earth Command had to know. "This is Crewman Dennis," he whispered. "Reporting from Horizon 7. Unauthorized alien contact confirmed. Hybrid subject alive. preparing data dump. He hit send. The message shot through space like a bullet, back to Earth. Back to the people who had created this silence in the first place. On the surface, Ray stood beside the alien girl. Her hand still glowed softly from the memory link. "She showed us everything," he said to the remaining crew. "Now it's our turn." Captain Hale looked at him, eyes full of conflict. "I saw the truth," the captain said slowly. "But orders are orders, Ray." Ray stepped forward. "She's just a child," he said, "and she's all that's left." Then the CUM device in the captain's hand beeped. Incoming message. High priority. He opened it silently, and his face changed above in orbit. Earth Command had already responded. New orders uploaded. Destroy alien presence. Eliminate hybrids. Erase all witnesses if necessary. Captain Hell lowered his hand. His voice was calm, but cold. "We're leaving now?" Ray frowned. "We just got here." "No," the captain said. "We were never here. None of this happened." The alien mother stepped forward, her breath shallow. "You can't erase what's already been remembered," she said, but Hale raised his sidearm and pointed it at her. "I can try." Ray stood between them. "Don't," he said firmly. "You saw the truth." The captain's hand didn't move. "Exactly," he whispered. "And that's what makes it dangerous." Then a gunshot. Not from Hale, but from behind. Dennis had entered the ruins, weapon in hand, eyes empty, but he hadn't aimed at the aliens. He had aimed at Ray. Ray fell to the ground, blood on his uniform. The alien girl screamed, light bursting from her hands. A wave of energy pushed everyone back, except Dennis. He stood smiling. "That's the signal I needed," he said, tapping his device. He wasn't just a crewman. He was a sleeper agent, planted long ago. His mission was never exploration, it was elimination. "You've all been marked now," he said. "Earth's coming. They won't ask questions." The alien girl knelt beside Ray, tears glowing in her eyes. "You saved me," she whispered. "Now let me save you." Her hands touched his chest, and the light flowed again, not like before. This time it was deep, slow, like it was searching through his blood. Captain Hale watched, frozen. Ray's body trembled, then his eyes opened. "Alive, but not the same." He sat up slowly. "I saw something," he whispered. "A place where more like her are hiding." The alien mother nodded weakly. They were hidden, scattered, sleeping inside other worlds. Ray stood, pain still fresh but fading. "She showed me." Through her light, Dennis tried to raise his weapon again, but it overheated and melted in his hand. The girl looked at him with glowing eyes. "We are not tools," she said. "We are memory." Back on the ship, systems were failing, Dennis's. The message had triggered a beacon. A human warship was already en route, armed, fast, and ready to wipe everything clean. Ray looked at the crew. "I won't run," he said. "But I won't stay and be silenced either." Captain Hale finally lowered his weapon. His voice broke. "I was just following orders." "But maybe the orders were wrong." Ray turned to the alien mother. "You said she carries memory? What else can she carry?" The mother smiled faintly. "Hope." Ray nodded. "Then, it's time we give her a future." But above them, in the shadows of space, the human warship was closing in fast, and it was not coming to talk. Asterisk, the stars began to vanish, one by one, as the warship entered orbit. It was so big, it swallowed light. Onboard Horizon 7, alarms screamed, but there was no panic now, only purpose. Ray stood on the bridge. Holding the hybrid girl's hand, he looked up at the screen and whispered, "They didn't come to negotiate." The alien mother sat nearby, breathing heavily, her body failing, but her mind sharp as ever. "They are here to finish what they started," she said. "They don't see us as life, only as error." Captain Hale stared at the growing shadow in space. It was a human warship, yes, but it didn't feel like it belonged to them anymore. It felt like something darker, like a ghost of old sins, coming to erase the witnesses. Then a voice broke through the ship's comms. "This is Earth Command Unit 91. You are in violation of Protocol Epsilon." The voice was machine clear. No emotion, All unauthorized entities must be surrendered for termination. Ray responded without hesitation. No, the voice returned. You are now labeled compromised. Vessel destruction authorized. The crew looked at each other in silence. There was no going back. This wasn't just about hiding aliens anymore. This was about standing up to a system that killed truth with silence. We need to launch the escape pods, said one of the engineers. They'll shoot them down. Another replied, We're sitting ducks. Ray turned to the alien girl. Is there any way to protect the ship? She looked at him calmly. There is. But I have to link with the warship. Ray's eyes widened. Link? You mean connect to them? She nodded. My kind built the first code your people copied, she said. I can speak to their systems. Maybe I can stall them. The alien mother grabbed her daughter's arm. No, she whispered. They'll sense you. They'll attack your mind. The girl looked at her softly. If I don't, they'll attack everyone. Ray knelt beside her. You don't have to do this alone, she smiled. I never was alone. Not since you opened the airlock. She walked to the center of the bridge, sat down, and closed her eyes. Her hands touched the floor. Then the lights dimmed. Screens began flashing symbols no one recognized. She was far above, inside the warship. The AI system began to shake, unseen by the human pilots. Something slipped through the firewalls. A memory, a voice, a small child's laughter. The system tried to purge it, but it came back stronger. Who is this? The AI asked internally. Then it saw her, not physically, but in code, a girl of light. It's made from forgotten languages. She didn't speak. She showed. The warship's systems began to flood with images. Ruined cities, innocent faces, children crying beneath human boots. The ship trembled, the weapons paused inside the engine core. Something refused to fire. Back on Horizon 7, the girl opened her eyes. They know now, she said. They saw everything. But then her body shivered. Blood dripped from her nose. The connection was killing her. Oh, Ray said, rushing forward. Stop. That's enough. She shook her head. Not yet. One more minute. Suddenly, the alien mother stood, holding onto a console for balance. She touched her daughter's forehead and whispered something only they could understand. Then she looked at Ray. She's strong, but she's still a child. She can't carry it all. The mother pressed her palm to the floor. Beside her daughter, her skin glowed, then turned pale. Ray stepped forward, but it was too late. The alien mother gave her energy, her memory, her life, to save her child. She smiled at Ray one last time. She is yours now. Then she was gone. The girl collapsed into Ray's arms, breathing slow but alive. The warship above froze completely, its weapons powered down, its lights dimmed, and for the first time in decades, Earth's command did nothing. They were afraid. Afraid of the truth that had awakened in their own ship. Captain Hale stood beside Ray. I followed orders all my life, he said, but today I saw something. No order can explain. Ray looked down at the girl. She's not just memory. He said, she's future, in the silence that followed. Horizon 7 turned and drifted away from the warship. No shots fired, no chase, only silence. But Ray knew it wasn't over. Earth wouldn't stop forever. They had seen the light. Now they would try to control it, far behind them. The warship finally spoke to Earth Command. Its AI voice had changed. One word echoed back to Earth. Remember? Some endings don't feel like the end. They feel like the first breath after drowning. Eh? Stood on the observation deck of Horizon 7. Below him, the stars moved slowly. Above him, silence held its breath. The warship was gone, vanished into the black. Not destroyed, not defeated. Just silent, but silence was no longer something Ray trusted. Behind him, the alien girl slept in a medical bed, live but changed. Her skin still shimmered faintly with light. Her pulse slower than a human's, faster than memory. She had survived. The warship link, but she hadn't come back alone. Inside her now were voices, hundreds of them, the memory of her people, and something else. She dreams, the ship's medic said, but not like we do. She's speaking in her sleep, in a language the ship doesn't recognize. Ray nodded quietly. She's building a future, Captain Hale entered the room. He no longer wore his uniform. It didn't matter anymore. "They've issued a silent warrant," he said. "Earth Command wants her taken dead or alive." Ray didn't flinch, I figured, but there's something else, Hale added. "Before the warship left, it dropped a beacon." Ray turned slowly. "What kind of beacon?" "Coordinates," Hale said. "To a place not on any chart." 2 days later, Horizon 7 reached a moon that didn't exist on Earth's maps, covered in fog, wrapped in light. As they approached, something began to pulse in the ship's systems, not an attack. "A welcome," the alien girl woke as they entered orbit. "I know this place," she whispered. Ray leaned in. "Is this where the others are?" She nodded. "My kind. We scattered across the stars when Earth came. This is one of the last hidden moons." The ship landed in silence. No weapons, no guards, only wind and soft glowing plants. As Ray and the girl stepped onto the surface, figures appeared from the trees. Not soldiers, not enemies, but children. Some looked human, some didn't. All of them watched her with wide, glowing eyes. "She's the carrier," one of them whispered. "She lived," said another. An old figure stepped forward, tall. "Crystal skin, eyes full of stars. You bring the voice," he said to the girl. She bowed her head. "I bring the memory." And the choice, Ray looked around at the others. Some were afraid, some curious, but none hostile. He realized this was not a base. This was a seed, waiting to grow again. The elder turned to Ray. "You are not one of us," he said. "Why? Did you protect her?" Ray thought for a long time before speaking. "Because I couldn't be proud of what I was until I helped save what we destroyed." The elder nodded slowly. "And do you believe Earth will leave us alone now?" Ray shook his head. "No, they'll come, but they won't find her, not unless she wants to be found." The girl stepped forward. "I don't want war," she said. "But I won't hide forever." She raised her hand, and light shot in two. The sky, not a weapon, a signal, a message, across systems, across species. We are still here. Back on Earth, high above the planet's surface, a secret council watched the signal arrive. They saw the girl, heard her voice, and they felt something no system could block. Shame. One of the council leaders stood. "We must contain her," he said, but another whispered, "Or we must finally listen." On the hidden moon, Ray stood by the ship, watching the sky. The girl walked up beside him. "What now?" she asked. Ray smiled slightly. "Now you choose who you want to become. You've seen both worlds, yours and mine. Maybe it's time to build something new." She looked at him. "I won't be just human," she said. "I won't. Be just alien? I'll be a bridge." Ray nodded. "And maybe one day, Earth will cross it." As the stars began to rise and the moon glowed brighter, the daughter of two worlds stood in silence, not afraid, not alone, but ready.